I'm just kidding. Anyway, so we'd like to go back in both space and time across the Pacific Ocean to the Tsugaru region, northern Japan, the western half of Aomori Prefecture. And we're looking today at the evolution of a musical art form that came from that place. One of the things that Tsugaru Shamisen has going for it is that it's got this song, Tsugaru Jonkara Bushi. So we'd like to sort of embody the entire history of Tsugaru Shamisen through the eyes of this song, Tsugaru Jonkara Bushi. Mike Penny is going to start by playing a little bit of an example of Kyubushi, the oldest version of Tsugaru Jonkara. Now, it's very, very difficult to really pinpoint the actual roots of this song because the whole history of Tsugaru Shamisen is basically shrouded in kind of a mystery. A historian named Daijo Kazuo took it upon himself to kind of research the roots of this music and came up with a lot of interesting stuff, but really basically still much of really the roots of this music is kind of shrouded in mystery. The historical reasons for that really have to do with a lot of different things. In Tsugaru, if you were very, very poor, and I don't know if a lot of you are aware of this, but the arts in Japan were a lot of times reserved for the blind. Because in the Japanese society, if you were blind, you really couldn't do much to contribute to the other aspects of society besides play a musical instrument or tell a story or do something along those lines. So it's always sort of been already ingrained into the Japanese psyche that if you're blind, you're going to be going into one thing or another, one of those being the performing arts. So the song Tsugaru Jonkara Bushi, once again, was adapted by a lot of these blind, pretty poor musicians living in that region. Jonkara Bushi is said to come from songs that made their way up in Tsugaru from ancient Edo, the ancient capital, as well as sort of folk melodies that were already floating around in Tsugaru. So there's a fusion already with Tsugaru Shamisen of this land and the mainland of Japan. Today, we're going to talk about this in a little while, but later on, like today, we're going to look at sort of Tsugaru Shamisen not just representing Japan, but breaking out and sort of becoming more of a real-world music instrument. Anyway, the evolution of Jonkara Bushi and the evolution of Tsugaru Shamisen had a lot to do with what is called, I have to say this word because I just realized it's a cue for Masahiro's to start, so I'm going to not use this word yet. But a lot of times what would happen is that these poor blind musicians would actually view this not just as a way to compete, like developing their music. It was not just a way for them to compete, but in a lot of ways, it was actually a matter of life and death. What they had in their the history is what's called this joppari seishin in Japanese. Joppari seishin refers to your state of mind. Joppari has to do with this idea. In Japanese, there's a phrase, "Omae ga sono te dattara, ora wa kono te," which means if you're going to play like that, I'm going to play like this. What we just heard from Mike Penny, the very old Jonkara, would evolve slowly over the years. And again, as a matter of survival, if there was one shamisen player playing down the road, and another one was trying to get some rice or some money or something, they would pretty much have no choice but to try to play a little louder or maybe a little faster than the previous player. And in that way, they would try to get a little more food. Over the course of maybe a century, this Tsugaru Shamisen evolved. So now we're going to take a little listen to Mike and Masahiro embody the history and the development of this Tsugaru Jonkara. conclude the history of Jangara, which you were going to perform a piece, all three of us together. This is using Jangara as a bass. The song is called Kita no Hibiki, actually written by Masahiro's father, Hiroshi Nitta.